Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick. TechPoint recently honored the successes and the innovation of Indiana entrepreneurs, companies, places, and products during a live webcast of the organization's 21st annual Mira Awards Gala. It's a first ever virtual event. Nearly 130 nominees from throughout the state were up for 15 awards. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll feature several of the big winners. I'm pleased to welcome back to the show now TechPoint CEO Mike Langelier, who will provide some perspective on the virtual event and some of this year's winners. And Mike, as always, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Gary.
Nothing like the Mira Awards in person, okay? Always a packed house, excitement, statewide participation. But I tell you, the virtual event was pretty cool.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
it's a big leap to take what is usually a packed house, 1,400 people, max capacity, and sold out every year, to something that was virtual. But this year, we pulled off a virtual event, 4,000 people that attended. And we started, this whole process starts months ago, where we had 129 nominees for awards. We picked 48 volunteer judges who invested about 850 hours into the judging process to determine who the winners would be. And then ultimately got to the 15 winners that we announced that night, and had winners that literally went from A to Z. Went from Anvil, which is one that we'll spotlight, HC1, KSM Consulting, who won 2 awards. City of Lawrence, Nextech, Kronos, Woven, Republic Airways, and then Xylo at the end as well.
It's always interesting to see the breadth of the winners and the types of industries and innovation they're involved in, and it's reflective, I think, of how the Indiana tech community and the tech movement continues to evolve.
Yeah, when we looked at the problems that the winners solved, I mean, you look at the roster, they're delivering on the promise of personalized medicine, they're breaking the cycle of crime and poverty, they're preventing injuries and deaths in the workplace, hiring for technical roles while reducing bias, getting customer feedback in healthcare to people who can make change. So you're right, it's across the board. They're solving problems across industries.
Quickly, before we get into our first winner, Trailblazer Award, your big takeaways. You mentioned some there, but as you think about the event,
one of them certainly was virtual. Doing it virtually. We named a theme of "Be Bold" far before we knew what coronavirus was. And we leaned into that ourselves to do a virtual event, but we thought, what better community to do it than the tech community? And so we were one of the first events to do an awards event virtually. I think one of the other takeaways, outside of the scope of problems that these winners were solving, we're in this time of racial injustice that is so paramount right now. And so that was a feature as well, and really acknowledging the fact that the tech community can do more. We need to have more. We need to have more African American individuals in our community, and we need to really aggressively find ways to make that happen. And so that was one of the discussion points.
Very good. Well, let's start with one of the big winners, and that's for the Trailblazer Award, a name familiar to many in the technology community, Kristian Andersen. I had a conversation with him earlier this week.
I came to Indiana in 1992 to go to Anderson University, and for the most part, took a little time off to move back to my home state of Arkansas, but in my heart, never left. So after school, I started a design firm called Studio Science, and really from that platform, was able to get involved and partner with so many amazing people and help start so many amazing businesses and other initiatives. Lessonly, Tinderbox, which ultimately became Octave, Visible, Pathagility. These are a handful of companies we launched out of the studio with some great partners. And me and my partner, Mike Fitzgerald, started a seed stage venture fund called Gravity Ventures about 10 years ago that went on to raise 6 micro VC funds, and got to play a small role in helping kind of start and scale a number of Indiana-based technology companies. And of course, that all culminated about 5 years ago when me and my 3 wonderful partners, Mike, Eric, and Scott, along with a tremendous team, launched High Alpha. And what we seek to do is marry up kind of an operating company that starts new businesses. So think about a company that starts companies with a venture fund. And it has been so much fun. It's been so gratifying. I get to work with some of the smartest people in the country on challenges that mean a lot to me and to the people I work with. We've launched 20 companies since we started in 2015. Those companies have gone on to employ 700-800 people. and has attracted really a tremendous amount of capital and maybe more importantly, even attention to what is happening in Indianapolis. I think High Alpha has a spotlight shown on it frequently, but the reality is there are so many people and so many tremendous businesses being built and scaled and funded in our city, and it's fun to play some role in helping shine a light on that.
You are very passionate, really an evangelist for technology and innovation in Indiana, in central Indiana, the entire state. You really feel strongly that Indiana's position in the tech world is a strong one with great potential for growth.
Yeah, absolutely. As I like to say, myself and my three partners, we did not start High Alpha in Indianapolis because we happen to have Indiana driver's licenses. We believed that there was a real arbitrage opportunity, a real opportunity to grow and scale and leverage so many of the remarkable indigenous assets in the state, not the least of which is just talent. The sheer volume of highly educated, smart, ambitious people coming out of our state's colleges and universities, the preponderance of large technology companies that have moved to Indianapolis to make that their corporate home, and the talent that attracts from out of state, really created what we thought was the perfect opportunity, really fertile soil to grow and scale the types of businesses that we're launching. Now, I do happen to have an affection for the state that transcends its talent base for sure. But one of the things that really makes the business go is the ability to attract and retain remarkable talent, much of which is from the state.
Hard to overstate Kristian's impact on the tech community, not only his involvement in tech companies, but how he preaches about Indiana.
Yeah, he's a remarkable individual who has a vision for seeing potential in things and people, an ability to distill what's special about them, and then a provocativeness to get people to rally behind it, and a boldness to go pursue it in a big way. And there are literally organizations here that wouldn't exist without Kristian, and we heard about several of